All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see by the title and the thumbnail, this is another recovery video. This is step 10 in my 12 steps to recovery. So if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, drop a comment, share the video. It may help somebody in their recovery. And if a little bit about me, around in the late 80s, I became addicted to methamphetamines, and I also developed issues with alcohol. Over the next 15 years or so, I would be in and out of jail and prison, and my life would be a total mess. Eventually, I was able to find recovery, and now I'm coming up on 21 years sober. So I appreciate everybody watching the videos and stuff. Let's get into this one. So, step 10, we continue to take a personal inventory and promptly admitted when we were wrong. Sorry, I kind of jumbled that up a little bit. But this one is really important. And this is one I definitely still use to this day. I mean, for the most part, I use all of them in one way or another, almost on a daily basis. But this is one of the big ones, in my opinion. So, as we go about our day, as I go about my day, I'm constantly, it's almost like a sickness to me, like a little OCD maybe. But like I'm constantly analyzing what I've said to other people, what I've done, the different things that occur in a day to day, just living life, right? And I'm constantly taking stock of emotional disturbances that, I don't, that didn't feel good, that didn't feel right. Man, I shouldn't have done that type of thing. And what I do is I do my best to, promptly fix the situation if I feel like I've done something wrong or I was out of pocket, so to say. Uh, the thing with this one is basically we're taking stock of our emotional disturbances, especially those that can return us to drinking or using. Okay. So what happened for me is sometimes I would hold on to stuff, and basically it was almost like a reservation to relapse. I would let something bother me, and it would bother me and bother me, and I would hold on to it and, not remedy the situation. And ultimately it would lead to me using or drinking again. And, this is one of those maintenance steps. We're going to be moving more into spiritual on the next one. And then the last one is a pure maintenance step. But, if you've made it this far in the 12 steps to recovery, if you're working the steps and you've made it this far or beyond, congratulations. Because these 12 steps to recovery, it's not an easy thing to do. I lived my life, like many of you have, I'm sure, while I was active in my addiction and my dealing with alcoholism, and you couldn't tell me nothing. I knew everything. I was, I just wanted the instant gratification. And, you could tell me, hey, Bobby, I'm concerned with you. And I would tell people, well, don't be concerned with me. I'm fine. Even though I wasn't. So, as we work through these steps, it's mentally challenging at times because, where do we start? We admitted we were powerless. Who wants to admit that they are powerless? I felt like I had all the power, and really I had none of the power. People used to say, hey, Bobby, when are you going to quit using? And I would always joke, when you hear the coffin clicking, going down into the ground. And thank God I was able to find my way back. But through working these steps, I got to know myself a lot better. I was no longer living that lie of that addicted alcoholic person where, I could go do some meth or maybe drink some beer or have some shots, and it solved all my problems for a while. I'd learned to face my problems head on and deal with situations before it builded up so much that it seemed unbearable, and the reservation was called in, right? And okay, well, you know what? Life is just too much at this point. I'm going to go use. As if that was going to make things better. Using or drinking, if you have a problem with these things, and most people that do have a problem with it, if we're being real, like the answer isn't in the bottom of the bottle. It's not on the mirror. It's not in the needle. It's not in the pipe. However, whatever, it's not a pill. It might make you feel good for a little while, but when you sober up or you come down or whatever it is that happens as an end result to you using or drinking, the problems are still there. And now they just got a little bit worse. Because did you drink up the rent money or that money for a bill, or maybe your car needs tires? Or did, you convince yourself again that, what, I can buy the sack and I can flip it and I'll be able to support my habit, and it didn't work. Early on it did for me, absolutely. Like everything seemed fantastic, like I was selling plenty of illegal drugs. I have to watch what I say with YouTube. But I was selling a lot more than I was consuming. And over time, I'm selling up here, I'm using down here. Those things end up meeting up in the middle. All right, guys. So in conclusion, this is my 10th step to recovery. This is where I continued to take personal inventory and promptly admitted when I was wrong. Like I said, this one, like many of the others, it was a bit difficult, like just little things in life. And my wife was great with helping me with this, like little things in life, like when you go to the supermarket and you got the cases of water on the bottom, I'd always try to push the basket forward right away before the cashier would see them. And she said, no, tell them we have water, and I've grown to the point where, like, if something gets missed or something, I'll take it back and tell them, hey, you didn't ring this up, because it's the right thing to do, right? So, it starts with the little stuff and it becomes bigger, So I constantly take stock of my emotional disturbances, especially those that can return me to drinking or using. Okay. I am not going to have any reservations that will, lead me to a relapse at this point. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not possible. I've seen it in meetings where people come in and get a newcomer chip and they had 18 years, they had 20 years, and they just get complacent and they're starting all over again. I mean, God bless them for coming in and starting over, but man, it's just a shame that all that time was thrown away because of complacency and, just not continuing to use the tools that we gained in gaining sobriety. So, this, like I said, this is another big one to me. If you've worked the 10 steps, if you're up to the 10th step or beyond at this point, shout out to you. You're doing an amazing job. And if you're new to sobriety and you're just getting started on these steps, double shout out to you. Because the most important person in recovery is the newcomer. So if you're new to sobriety, welcome. I believe in you. You can do it. I always keep these ones short and sweet. Well, at least short. Because, I don't want to talk too much and have the message be lost. So if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you didn't enjoy the video, hit the thumbs down. But, either way, drop a comment. Let me know where you're at in your recovery. What step are you on? Have you started the steps? Do you have a sponsor? Do you have a home meeting? These things are all important in recovery. So, yeah, let me know. And share the video. It may help somebody in their journey to recovery. If you haven't seen the previous 9 steps, I have a playlist marked recovery. You can click on that and it will give you all the videos. They're all somewhere in the 8 to 12 minute range. So they're smaller and easier to digest. But remember, it's about the company that you keep. If you're hanging around people that are practicing sobriety, chances are you're going to do the same. So hope everybody's having a great week. Family, fitness, and freedom are the things that allow me to get my life together, and they can help you as well. And it don't necessarily need to be blood family. Family are the people that treat you the way that you want to be treated, and you treat them, you reciprocate that. So I cut off a lot of my family when I first got sober, and that's okay. It's a total life change. I mean, if you keep doing what you've been doing, then you're going to keep getting the same results. Nothing changes, So anyways, don't look at the mountain. Just start climbing.